We are here in the Digital Cafe Studios. I've got one of my, gosh darn it, absolute favorite people on the planet, Lou Mongello. Say hi, Lou.
How you doing?
Now, I'm going to let him tell his story. I'm going to get out of this really quickly, but here's the thing. What is the main topic of your podcast, Lou?
Disney.
So, like, are you just one of these Disney fans who stays at home and does collectibles and talks about how one day you want to afford a trip to Disney?
No, I'm one of these guys that quits his job being a lawyer and moves down to Orlando and talks about Disney full time.
So you quit your job as a lawyer. You now live in Florida, and you talk about.
Worse when you say it that way.
No, it sounds awesome when I say it that way. You quit the day job, and you teach and speak and podcast and communitize entirely about Disney.
Correct.
And you make a living doing this.
I do.
And you take your kids on Disney tours.
I do, and we live like a mile behind the Magic Kingdom, so it's not a bad place to live.
How did you pull this off?
A lot of smoke and mirrors. So a very quick Reader's Digest condensed version of the story. I was a lawyer in New Jersey. I had an IT consulting company on the side. Always being in the service business, I had this idea of making something once and resell it. So an idea of a book came to be, and all I really knew about was Disney World. I'd been going since I was a kid. So the entire goal was, can I write a book and can I get it published? Like, that's all I wanted to see. That was just the personal challenge. I did it. I was able to get it published. Started a little website, started a community, started podcasting way back when in 2005, and things just started snowballed. And one day I literally just took a leap of faith and I sold everything I had and packed up the Honda Odyssey and moved to Florida. And knock on wood,
it made me jealous every day since. My kids, why can't you be more like Lou? Why can't you? Dad, all you get us is gear. Why don't you take us to Disney World? No, my kids are lovely. They may not even be watching. Now. Like, does Disney pay you? Like, where does the money come from? Like, how? No, and by the way, let's pitch the book. The name of the book is?
So I have a number of books. I have trivia books. I have 102 Ways to Save Money at Walt Disney World. I have audio tours, downloadable audio tours.
And they can find that at?
They can find everything at wdwradio.com.
wdwradio.com, as in Walt Disney World Radio.com?
As in.
Okay, all right. So how do you make your money? Books? It's all in the books, isn't it?
It's not.
What? I heard it was write a book, make $1 million.
You would think. Okay. And that's not real. And it's funny, Paul, because when I started this entire endeavor, it was never about making money. And I think for a lot of people, that's where the disconnect happens. I think you need to find that thing that you love doing. And I know it sounds so cliche to do what you love, and the money will really come. And that's what happened with me. I just sort of to see if I could write the book. And the money doesn't come really from the books. I think books are the new business card. It's the way that you sort of get people maybe into the ecosystem. It really is all about community. So I believe in having a lot of different ways to do it. So I have books, I have audio tours, I do a lot of live events. I've recently started doing in the past couple of years Patreon. You build the community first, and then you can do something like a Patreon.
And explain to the audience what Patreon is for those who don't know.
Patreon is sort of like a Kickstarter type of thing where people can voluntarily, if they want to, support you by giving donations of whatever denominations you set out. I create a number of different levels where they can do as little as $1 or up to a higher level. But rather than just ask people for money, I give them something in return every month, whether it's a scavenger hunt, whether it's logo gear. I do care packages from Walt Disney World, so you get a little piece of that magic delivered to you at home every month. But all these secondary and tertiary businesses have grown out of it. So I do a lot of speaking, and I don't have products, I don't have courses, but I like being able to work with people one-on-one or small groups and help them do what I did, which is turn what they love into what they do.
So you left the lawyer thing.
And I'm much happier for it.
And you're much happier for it, to do the Disney thing, and not Disney paying for it. Like my old buddy Michael Gohagan was paid by Disney to do the Disney podcast. That's not you.
So to be clear, I get nothing from Disney.
Right.
I don't get paid by Disney at all. I pay for my own tickets, all of my own food, I pay for my hotels and stuff when I go. I have a great relationship with the company, which I really had to work on over years. Because when I first started out, back in 2003, 2004, they said, look, if you're not radio, TV, or newspaper, you're not media. But I had to earn that trust and earn that credibility and respect. And I think they, as a lot of big brands realize, is that what we as third-party content providers can bring is very different than the messaging. Look, they can go out and say, go to Pecos Bill's, it's the best hamburger on property. It has a different message when I say to people who that trust me, you need to go to Pecos Bill's because it's the best hamburger on property. And I think Disney as a brand realizes that.
So you take Disney, traditional brand, big budget, a lot of money, and one would think, like, why doesn't Disney just make the Disney podcast, or why doesn't Disney just sponsor you? You're not making the money from the ads. You're not making, you're making the money from community events and Patreon and all these things. Is that a smart move? Is that more fun? Is that less fun? How does that fit in the grand scheme of things?
So for me, it's more fun. It's less pressure. Look, I don't want to work for the company. Like, I like being able to steer my own ship and decide this is what I'm going to talk about this week, as opposed to somebody saying, hey, this is what we need you to talk about this week. Because I do the show, Paul, 12 years later, that I would want to watch as a Disney fan. And so I have sponsors that are not Disney. I work with a travel partner for 10 years. So there's income coming in from a lot of different ways, but the fact that it doesn't come from the company itself gives me a lot more freedom and flexibility.
So you do the Disney thing, ex-lawyer, www.radio.com. You're building the business you want to build, pursuing the topic you love, and then on the side you're helping others to do it.
Absolutely.
Okay, there's a lot of people who just met Lou for the first time. You can follow Lou on Facebook. How?
So all the Disney stuff is at WDW Radio, Facebook and Twitter and social, and everything I do sort of on the business and entrepreneur side is at Lou Mongello.
And watch the business and entrepreneur side. Lou's, yes, he has a great story, but he's thought through the processes, and he really can help people do this stuff. There is a process to do this. There's your name at the bottom of the screen, Lou. Thank you so much.